This single principle is so powerful that has the power to completely transform our lives forever. This principle, known as the mirror principle, isn't merely a poetic metaphor or spiritual concept. It's the operating system of reality itself, determining how your life unfolds with mathematical precision. What you see in your external world is nothing more than a reflection of your internal state. This isn't just philosophical wisdom. It's backed by neuroscience. Researchers like Dr. Lisa Barrett have demonstrated that your emotions don't simply reflect your reality. They actively create it. Your brain constructs the world around you based on the internal state you maintain. When you finally grasp this principle, everything changes. The mirror principle has the power to completely transform your life, not through complex techniques or strategies requiring endless action, but through a profound shift in who you are being. Consider this. If your desire is to become financially abundant, you must first embody abundance internally before it can manifest externally. If you don't change on the inside, nothing will change on the outside. This is the fundamental essence of the mirror principle, and when mastered, everything you touch begins to transform. However, this journey requires courage. You must be willing to confront your own demons, to face aspects of yourself you may not want to see. The first fundamental key of the mirror principle is understanding that the mirror of reality reflects two things simultaneously: your relationship with yourself and your relationship with the world around you. What you see in the mirror of reality is a projection of how you see yourself and how you perceive the world. If you look at yourself and believe you're not good enough, the mirror will simply reflect that belief back to you. I'm not good enough. I can't do this because I'm not capable. And the mirror responds, you're not good enough. Here's more evidence proving why you're incapable. The reflection is based entirely on the messages you send to the mirror of reality. This mirror functions like a loyal friend who is always willing to validate what you believe to be true. It doesn't judge whether your beliefs serve you. It simply reflects them with perfect accuracy. What makes this principle so powerful is that the mirror of reality operates in both the visible and invisible realms. The side we currently perceive, the physical world, is limited. But there's also a non-physical side, what quantum physicists might call the field of infinite possibilities, where every conceivable outcome exists simultaneously. When you tune your thoughts and feelings to a particular frequency, you're essentially selecting which sector of reality to stream into existence. You present that energetic signature to the mirror, and when held consistently enough, the mirror has no choice but to reflect it back as physical experience. So instead of trying to directly manipulate the reflected image, which is what most people attempt through force and struggle, you must learn to transform the image you project in front of the mirror. This is similar to the art of influence. When you tell someone directly, don't do that, the likelihood of them doing exactly what has been forbidden increases. However, when you choose to motivate and inspire, presenting compelling reasons aligned with their values, they naturally feel inclined to listen. Your goal, therefore, is to influence your reality indirectly by changing what you project into the mirror. The mirror simply amplifies what you hold to be true in your mind, both about yourself, your identity, and your worldview, how you perceive reality to operate. But how can you interrupt unconscious patterns and consciously choose what you want to experience? The answer lies in deliberately creating your own identity and worldview, your paradigm of reality. First, gain clarity about what you truly want in the long term, perhaps 10 years from now. In this future vision, what activities do you see yourself engaged in daily? What possessions or circumstances make your life a continuous journey of discovery? Now ask yourself, who am I being when I'm achieving, having, and doing all these things? This question is crucial because it shifts your focus from what you want to have to who you need to become. Next, consider your worldview. How do you perceive the world when you're living this reality? What beliefs about how the universe operates must you hold to make this vision inevitable rather than merely possible? With these insights, create powerful affirmations that embody both your identity and worldview. For your identity, craft statements like, I am worthy, I am a magnet for abundance because I carry within me the magic touch of an alchemist. For your worldview, affirm, the universe conspires in my favor. Everything happens at the perfect time according to the divine plan. As you dedicate yourself to repeating these affirmations daily and internalizing them, you'll witness an incredible transformation. The reality you perceive will begin to change before your eyes. Even if what you desire seems impossible today, it doesn't mean you won't achieve it tomorrow. Everything requires time, practice, and patience. Respect your journey, but don't let fear prevent you from achieving the extraordinary. The second key to mastering the mirror principle is understanding that the reflection we see in our material world forms with a certain delay. This delay explains why many people abandon their dreams just before they manifest. In your inner world, you can create an image instantly just by closing your eyes and visualizing what you want. That's how consciousness operates in the non-physical dimension. However, in the physical dimension, things take time to manifest due to the inert nature of matter. Matter is dense and cannot break the laws of physics to manifest instantly. This brings us to a crucial insight. You must hold your chosen identity and worldview long enough for your desire to manifest physically. Whatever you want to become, start by adopting the identity of someone who already embodies those qualities. Ask yourself how that person would think, feel, and act, then maintain that state consistently. An interesting phenomenon occurs when people begin working with this principle. They establish a belief in identity, expecting their goal to manifest. But when results don't appear immediately, their mood declines along with their belief. Just as their mood reaches its lowest point, when they're about to give up, suddenly their manifestation appears. However, when it manifests, it begins to reflect their previous negative attitude with a delay. What manifests then begins to deteriorate because it's simply mirroring their fluctuating emotional state. This creates a wave-like cycle of ups and downs that many people can't seem to escape. The key is to remain loyal to your chosen identity and worldview, regardless of what appears in your physical reality. This consistency is the most effective way to create significant, lasting changes in your life. When you understand the delay principle, you develop patience and faith in the process, knowing that what you're experiencing today is simply the delayed reflection of past thoughts and feelings. The third key to mastering the mirror principle reveals a subtle but crucial distinction. The mirror of reality doesn't reflect the nature of your thoughts, but their purified content. If you consistently express dissatisfaction with statements like, "I hate my dead-end job," "I hate my boss," "I hate my financial situation," the mirror doesn't reflect the hate itself. It reflects the specific content of what you're focusing on. When you say, "I hate these bills," the result isn't less bills, it's more bills. When you complain about your job, more situations arise to increase your dissatisfaction with work. This is precisely how the mirror principle operates. The more you complain about what you don't have and what you don't want, the more reasons life gives you to confirm your worldview and identity. This represents the fundamental difference between a scarcity mentality and an abundance mentality. It's simply a matter of seeing the glass as half full rather than half empty. The key to applying this in your life is straightforward. Focus on what you want and what you already have, not on what you lack or wish to avoid. To create meaningful change, start by acknowledging what you already possess right now. Appreciate your progress, your relationships, your capabilities, everything that's working in your favor. Then ask yourself, what do I want? What would make my life a journey of discovery? How does that look and feel? Your vision doesn't need to be perfectly detailed as long as you're focused on what you want rather than what you don't want. When you consistently direct your attention toward your desires, the gap between your current reality and your desired reality begins to close naturally. You start pushing the boundaries of your comfort zone, taking inspired actions that align with your vision. This principle explains why gratitude practices are so powerful. When you appreciate what you have, you're focusing on abundance rather than lack. The mirror of reality has no choice but to reflect back more circumstances that inspire gratitude. Remember, what you focus on expands. If you focus on problems, you'll find more problems. If you focus on opportunities, you'll discover more opportunities. The mirror doesn't judge whether your focus serves you, it simply reflects it back with perfect precision. The fourth and perhaps most transformative key is understanding the mirror cycle. When you learn to consciously work with this cycle, rather than being unconsciously controlled by it, you'll witness reality changing before your eyes. For most people, the cycle begins with observation. They look at their current circumstances, the bills, the job they dislike, the relationships that frustrate them, and use these observations to form their internal attitude. This attitude, composed of thoughts and feelings, is the image they present to the mirror, which then reflects back corresponding experiences. The problem is that most people remain trapped in this cycle. They observe their reflection, feel discouraged by what they see, and continue projecting the same negative image. Then they wonder why the same patterns keep repeating in their lives. They try different tactics and strategies, new business ventures, relationship approaches, health regimens, but nothing creates lasting change because there's no fundamental shift in their identity or worldview. To break free from this cycle, you must reverse the process. Instead of starting with observation of current circumstances, begin with consciously choosing the image you wish to project. Turn your attention away from your current reality, recognizing that what surrounds you now was formed from decisions made in the past. When you deliberately choose your internal state, regardless of external conditions, the mirror has no choice but to begin reflecting this new image. Changes will appear gradually, with the delay we discussed earlier, but instead of obsessively observing every detail of your reality, looking for evidence that it's not working, you selectively confirm what is working. Take note of the small improvements that align with your vision. Perhaps you wanted more confidence, and you notice people responding to you more positively. Maybe you intended to improve an aspect of your business, and you see signs of progress. Your entire world might be experiencing challenges, but you focus exclusively on confirming what corresponds to your chosen identity and worldview. As you continue this practice, these small confirmations snowball into transformations beyond anything you could have imagined. What begins as a conscious choice becomes your natural way of being. You're no longer fighting against reality. You're dancing with it, co-creating in harmony with the mirror principle. Think of yourself as an alchemist, someone who transforms lead into gold, who transmutes the ordinary into the extraordinary through the power of consciousness. The first step is to clearly define your desired identity and worldview. Who do you need to become to naturally attract what you want? How must you perceive the world for your desires to manifest effortlessly? Write these down with absolute clarity, making them as vivid and emotionally compelling as possible. Next, create a daily practice to embody this identity and worldview. This might include meditation, visualization, affirmations, or physical activities that align with your vision. The key is consistency. Remember the delay principle. You must hold your chosen state long enough for it to reflect in your physical reality. Throughout your day, be vigilant about what you're focusing on. When you catch yourself dwelling on what you don't want, gently redirect your attention to what you do want. This isn't about denial or suppression. It's about conscious choice. You're exercising your power to select which aspects of reality you energize with your attention. When challenges arise, and they will, view them as opportunities to practice your new identity rather than reasons to abandon it. Ask yourself, how would the person I'm becoming respond to this situation? Then act accordingly, regardless of how you feel in the moment. Finally, implement the reversed mirror cycle. Begin each day by consciously choosing your internal state before observing external conditions. Throughout the day, selectively confirm evidence that supports your vision while minimizing attention to contradictory circumstances. Remember, this isn't magical thinking. It's energetic alignment. The universe doesn't deliver what you want, it delivers what you are. When you embody the feeling state of your fulfilled desire, you're no longer asking for something outside yourself. You're simply tuning into a frequency that already exists, allowing that reality to manifest in your physical experience. Most people make the mistake of waiting to feel good until their desires materialize. This backward approach keeps them locked in a perpetual state of wanting rather than having. The master communicators of universal language understand that feeling must precede manifestation, not follow it. As we conclude our exploration of the mirror principle, it's important to recognize that this knowledge serves a purpose beyond material manifestation. The ultimate aim isn't merely to acquire possessions or achievements, it's to awaken to your true nature as a conscious creator. When you understand that reality mirrors your inner state, you recognize your responsibility for everything you experience. This isn't about blame, it's about empowerment. You're no longer a victim of circumstances, but a conscious participant in the creation of your life. This awareness naturally leads to greater compassion, both for yourself and others. You understand that everyone is creating their reality according to their level of consciousness, often unconsciously. This perspective dissolves judgment and fosters understanding. The mirror principle also reveals the interconnectedness of all things. Your internal state doesn't just affect your personal experience, it contributes to the collective consciousness that shapes our shared reality. As you elevate your consciousness, you contribute to the elevation of humanity as a whole. Perhaps most profoundly, mastering the mirror principle leads to a state of presence. When you're no longer fixated on changing external conditions, you can fully embrace the present moment. You recognize that your power lies not in controlling circumstances, but in choosing your response to them. In this state of presence, you discover that what you've been seeking through manifestation, peace, fulfillment, joy, was available all along. These qualities aren't dependent on external conditions, they're expressions of your true nature when you're aligned with it. The mirror principle ultimately teaches us that the greatest transformation isn't of our circumstances but of ourselves. As we change, our reflection changes. As we evolve in consciousness, our experience of reality evolves with us. As we dive into the depths of the mirror of reality, we discover an inner power that we often overlook. What we see around us is, in fact, an echo of our beliefs, identity, and worldview. But the secret of transformation is, instead of just observing reality, we must shape our destiny with the image of who we want to be and what we want to achieve. As we form this new image, the mirror of reality responds with small changes, slowly transforming itself. The mirror knows no limits, it only responds to what we offer it. Just like the alchemist who turns lead into gold, we can transmute our lives by adopting a mindset of abundance, focusing on what we have and what we want. Ultimately, our journey through the mirror of reality is a search for the truth within ourselves, and a celebration of our ability to create, to innovate, to transcend. The mirror principle isn't just about getting what you want, it's about becoming who you truly are. Start by examining your current identity and worldview. What beliefs are creating your present reality? What new identity would naturally attract your desired experiences? What worldview would make your vision inevitable? As you implement the 4 keys we've explored, understanding the dual nature of the mirror, respecting the delay principle, focusing on what you want, and reversing the mirror cycle, you'll witness a transformation beyond anything you've previously experienced. Remember, the universe is a mirror, forever reflecting what you're doing within yourself. This isn't just a nice idea, it's the reality that shapes your life. The question is, what image will you choose to project?